The Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference got underway in Sandton this morning. The conference attracted over 1,000 delegates and exhibitors. It takes place under the theme Black Industrialists, Catalysing Economic Growth and Jobs. SABC News Economics reporter Liabo Setho is at the conference and joins us live. Good afternoon, Liabo. Take us through what we can expect from the conference.
Good afternoon, Nastasia. So in just under an hour from now, we're expecting the President Cyril Ramaphosa will take to the stage to give a keynote address addressing the Black Industrialists that are attending the conference here. About 800 Black Industrialists have been benefiting from the scheme that is been driven by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. So far, we've seen a discussion among entrepreneurs themselves talking about the challenges in which they operate under. Access to market is one of their big topics that they need to be able to reach other markets, particularly in other continents as well as intra-trade. They're also talking about, obviously, what we all know about access to capital. And Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition, Mr. Ibrahim Patel, did open the address this morning, giving us an indication of the sectors in which these industrialists are found, some of them in food, some of them in mining, some of them in media, and so forth. So about 800 of them. And I could safely say about 1,000 of them are already here. Earlier this week, I took the chance to go and visit one of the industrialists that is in the food and condiments industry, just to understand how the scheme has benefited Makisa Foods. And here is their story, Nastasia.
We started in 2015, to be precise. This was before we even registered the company.
Yeah.
I think the aim was to test whether there's viability in this whole project. We knew that the product itself was a stacker. Honestly, it was something that we knew that it was going to work in the market. We built this plant in 2019 for the whole of 2019. In January 2020, we actually officially commissioned the plant to say it's ready to run product. Yeah. Our first source came out of these pipes in February 2020. And then that was, do you understand what I'm talking about? And then a month later, it was COVID. So we were hamstrung and we couldn't move. Thanks to the IDC, because they approached us to say, we understand your position. You had just commissioned the plant. How can we assist you? So there was a relief that we received of 10 million rand. We were able to then pay salaries. We were able to still service our rental here because we don't own the facility, and we're able to service some of our suppliers. An amount of 18.2 million rand was approved by the DTIC Black Industrialist scheme, and we have this gap of about 50 minus 18.2 to still go back, and it's basically 32 million that we still have access to, and we want to utilize that because now, as I'm talking to you, we are raising about 50 million rand in capex and working capital. 35 million would go towards capex, procuring new machinery, and 15 million would go towards working capital. The Black Industrialist scheme for us, or for me as a black entrepreneur, I wish it can be actually widened or spread across many areas in the country to reach those entrepreneurs that have got dreams, big dreams, to actually turn them into reality and servicing their communities. South Africa is a sad story because the haves continue to have more, and then they have not continue to lose value in terms of even those that are working. Inflation is actually eating into their income, and then it makes life to be difficult. And I wish, now that we're approaching the elections, that whoever is going to win, whether it's going to be a coalition or an outright majority, they've got to intentionally change their policies to benefit the people.
This is a great example, Nastasia, of just how the scheme has benefited some black entrepreneurs. And as you hear Terence Ledumade talking about how he would want this to be widened to accommodate others, what we're also seeing is that there's also some apprehension with regards to these coming elections about how they will change the fate of entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs particularly, from 600 in 2022 when the first conference was held to now 800. And of course, the sky can only be the limit in terms of the number of people the scheme can accommodate. I had requested to speak to the National Empowerment Fund chairperson, Dr. Ntabise Moleko, to speak to her about the challenges that they face as the NEF in terms of the criteria that they're getting. Who are they rejecting? We know that they are accepting and approving a lot of applications, but who are they rejecting and on what grounds? So that if we have black entrepreneurs watching our show on Point today and they're going through an application process, they understand where they need to start and what mistakes to avoid. As I said earlier on, we will be looking forward to the keynote address by the President at 1:15, which SABC News will be running, to hear what his thoughts are and what his government's plans are as this conference continues here at the Sandton Convention Center.